for the sun to come out and look. Well, it might yet. Hey.
Well, hello, Ken. How you doing?
Good. What is this thing you're pointing at us?
It's a GoPro. It's a little video camera. It does television quality video.
Is it supposed to clip to your hat so it...
Oh, well, I do sometimes. And sometimes I just hold it like this. And I just walk around the cars here. You got beautiful cars, and just get a little video. And
glad you can make it.
I'll come back around to you.
Okay.
It's a GoPro Hero section.
Oh, you're just not wearing it up on your head.
Right. Most of them are bigger than this. This one is the size that we use on the acrobatic airplanes. They fit on the wingtip. They have wingtip mounts and tail mounts, and one over my shoulder. And
remarkable how tiny that is.
yeah, it'll record two.
Video cameras when they first came out, you know, it's like they were carried them on your shoulder.
Yes, it's pretty amazing. It'll record 2 hours basically of television quality. It's a pretty neat little gizmo.
Yeah, I know. I trust me. I've read the speech.
Well, just go to Apple and do British invasion.
Oh,
There you go.
I don't think you're quite that old, are you?
No, but that's kind of, I was always, musically I was always, it's a past, yeah.
More.
In fact, I play in a band, and it's like, I finally got in a band that's playing me, like we're doing Anchorage.
That is cute.
All right. All this
right.
$10, $20.
the summer of love, you know, when I was 7 years old.
Well, as much as one term.
Beautiful Jag.
We're getting ready to start. We just got a new drummer, so we finally kind of working up. I think we've got to get
B12 E-Type. Very nice.
How many hours do you think it took you to build it?
I started in 2017.
Uh-huh.
I was in Greeley, Colorado, and I'd fly down. I made 12 trips down. Still wasn't finished because they had the wrong wiring room in it.
Yeah.
And so I found a guy in Boulder who used to work for catering. He now restores race cars.
Huh.
He had to reverse engineer a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So it was just the wrong wiring room?
Yeah, it was for a different car. I mean, they were sort of screwed up when it comes to ordering stuff like this. So I wanted that, and it was a little odd. They just had put the loom in, probably for the movie. But this guy Nathan Down was able to reverse engineer it.
It's a very good kit. Everything was there. The warmer you sit down, but And I kept trying to find another kit car that would be that good.
We have 2 points of view.
No, I had frustrating days because I'd fly home up here, and then I'd get down there and take me a day and a half to figure out where I'd left things before. You know, it's just, the continuity was bad. And in the
Well,
end-
explaining to me now, I go into the garage and have a cup of coffee.
Oh, yeah,
come
yeah,
back, where I was.
But, you know, anymore, it's a day or an hour, not 2 weeks. We had to send the engine back to Cosworth because we started, we took the tape off the intake manifolds and so forth, and there was a lot of rust in there. And so I sent it back to Cosworth, and there was a guy in California.
When they shipped it over on the deck,
No.
with salt air coming.
They assembled it in California, but they put some kind of break-in oil in it when they ran it. It had no corrosion in it. Because they figured most of the engines they make, they go right into a race car if people were using it right away. And there was another guy in California that was building an identical car, and he had that problem too, and Cosworth took it back and cleaned things up and sent it out.
Any chance of seeing the Cosworth?
You mean inside?
The engine itself?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a second. Yeah.
Now, if you aim the exhaust back, wouldn't you get a couple horsepower and thrust out of here?
Yeah, I guess I would.
Well, I was just reading an article, a book about World War II fighter engines, and out of either the Allison or the Merlin,
Uh-huh.
with the right exhaust stacks, they had gained an extra 50 horsepower in thrust.
Really? Just by force in the area?
Or just, you know, just
Yeah,
by
yeah.
just the thrust out the exhaust stacks.
So there a 2-man lift on this hood, or you got it?
No, I got it. Just have to clear the air clear.
Ah. Well, that is a
That
beautiful
comes right
piece.
off the roll of rental crap.
Double overhead cam. This is a
This is hood number 2.
Beautiful
I
engine.
was in Whitehorse. A guy backed into me and crushed the hood right here.
absolutely gorgeous.
Didn't bend the frame or anything. He was terrible about it.
Coil on the plug,
I stepped back
ignition,
into the 3/4-ton pickup, started backing out.
direct
You know,
injection.
looking over the back of the pickup, you don't see it. I blew the horn like crazy, but it turned out he was deaf in one ear. So,
And a huge air filter.
so all the photos I took of it after that, I had it on its good side.
So is it 2400cc or
23,
2300cc? Double overhead cam,
250 horsepower.
250 horsepower. And that's more than enough for this thing.
Yeah, it only weighs 1,200 pounds. So.
Yeah.
And I have this beautiful carbon fiber cam cover, but it leaks.
Oh, right
So-
through the cover itself?
No, right where it meets the
Oh,
head.
where it meets
must
the
be slightly
metal.
warped or something. And I had it surfaced by the company, and I'll try to put it on this summer.
Well, I've always wanted to see a Cosworth Ford, and I knew they were double overhead cam, but this is one nice looking setup here. I love all this modern ignition and fuel injection and
It's a dry sump lubrication.
What does this gauge show, Tom?
fuel pressure.
Fuel pressure?
And so your oil goes back here to the oil tanks,
No, these are
radiator.
radiator. The oil tank, you can see it under here.
Well, the oil tank's hidden underneath the front here. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So a dry sump.
So how long does it take you to get to Seattle when you take the Alcan?
I'm trying to remember. We drove up from Monterey. It was about 20 days. I think 6,200 miles altogether.
Well, if you were driving the Alcan, would you prefer to drive this or the Miata?
The Miata.
I bet.
Yeah. You can roll the windows up.
Yeah.
Well, we drove my wife's Miata up the highway.
Okay.
Actually, we drove it from Phoenix to Minneapolis to Anchorage.
Uh-huh.
Never had the top up.
Really?
No. I mean, why have one of those cars if you have
I'll
the
tell
top
you
up?
why.
Rain.
Miata up from Colorado, and we were in Jasper National Park in Canada, and it was just raining cats and dogs. And you'll have an opportunity to see how the top works. It's great. What year was yours?
It's 06. It's the first
The NB?
year of the third generation, I think.
Okay. And NC. Right. NA was the first, and B was the second. NC.
Yeah, it was NC, I think.
Is yours an NB?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the only moisture we got was we were stuck in a traffic jam in Yellowstone, and a buffalo came by, and drooled on.
And you tried not to object, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, you know, we couldn't get out of the traffic line.
Yeah.
It was kind of scary.
Now, question: are these kits still available?
Yep. Yep.
They
Yeah,
are.
you can go online when you get home and order one.
In fact, a friend
Well, I
of
don't know
mine.
how quickly you can order one, but you can look at it.
Yeah,
Look at them.
a friend of mine.
This has been my dream car since 1990 when I first got to drive one.
Oh, okay.
It didn't have a hoppy engine like this. It had the original kit, and he had the Hildebrand rear end in it. But I tell you, I just so enjoyed the nimbleness of it, the acceleration of it, the air through the hair, which I did have at that time. You know, I just was like, I'm getting one of these.
Well, you know, this will sound like heresy to Tom, but I've been on the website, you know, from time to time looking at it, and you know, they've got a whole range. I mean, you can spin from a little to a lot, and I'm sure Tom's on the lot side of that.
On the lot side.
Middle lot.
You can get one, what I would consider pretty cheap, that will probably be more than all the performance you'll ever use.
And then you can get a 310 horsepower supercharged one, which costs 52,000 British pounds in England. So over here, I don't even think you can bring them over here.
No.
You can't get a license over here, I don't think. I'm not sure.
You can always go crazy. I was in picking up my bike at the motorcycle shop yesterday, and there was another guy picking up his. He was picking up a Ducati, and it was a Ducati that retailed for $28,000. And the mechanic told me that this guy is a doctor in town. He put in $30,000 worth of mods to get a 260 horse engine out of this.
Wow.
So people will spin.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, we're.
Yes.
I'm worried about killing myself.
Well, I certainly thank you very much. Like I say, this is my possible in life wet dream.
This is the one you want.
Well, I figured
It's bigger. You're a bigger guy, so that one would fit you. This is a press fit.
press fit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I noticed it said light, and I was like, okay. The one I drove, y'all guys, since y'all know the guys, there was a security officer over on Elmendorf at the Elephant Cage.
Oh, really?
And he built one in his garage, and it had a Ford engine, but it was a valve and head Ford engine, and it was like he drove it to work every day. And one day he got stupid enough to let me get behind the wheel, and he was in the passenger seat, and I drove it around on the backside of the flight line. I just went through all the gears real fast, you know, and I was like, I'm hooked. I am hooked.
Is that one still up here, or is it?
He took it with him, PCS with him.
I know of a caterer that was up here a few years ago.
Yes.
And then there's that one you mentioned, Jerry. Then there was one at Autocross at Service High School in 1985. I have some pictures of it. They're very nimble.
I'm sure they are. I've just got a standard garden variety, you know, unmodified Miata, and that thing's so goddamn nimble. But you wonder how can the car be more nimble, but they can.
Yeah, no, and a little quicker too.
Yeah.
I have no idea how old it is.
It seems like the acceleration's almost as good as the Miata.
The guy with the little sports car guy.
Yeah, over there.
Interesting guy. He's been working so late forever. I don't know why.
So you have any electronics?
And get into the old classics again.
The funny thing is, you know, is that given the climate in Great Britain, we always wondered about what were they thinking when they made cars like this or even like that. I mean, that one was a race car essentially, but this wasn't really a race car. What were they thinking?
They did race this in Vermont.
Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah.
But yeah, what were they thinking? Well, that's what all the cars.
They didn't have to worry about air conditioning.
Another Jaguar. Triumph. Jensen Healy. Another E-Type.
Yeah.
4.2. '66 TR. TRA HRS. MGB. Huge difference between the A and the B. Huge difference.